Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Timothy here with Mana Rocks, and I am going to go ahead and do our first draft of Ikoria for the channel. So there's a couple things about it. First off, I've already done two drafts. I went 7-2 with both those decks. We can actually take a quick peek at the decks that I drafted. They seem pretty good, but the big thing here is that we now have human drafts instead of bot drafts. It's a little bit more expensive to enter into them, but the prizes are a little bit better. So we're going to do a human draft, walk through how it works, but that means we're on a timer too, right? So we can't sit there and take infinite time talking about, every single draft pick or anything like that. But this was the first deck I drafted. I splashed white in a green-black deck for this Fronlin Felidar, which I never drew, so I never really got to see how good it was, although it's very clearly good if you can cast it. I also splashed Swallow Hole, which never came up, never cast the spell, and this played out very nicely. I tried to draft a couple 1 and 2 drops. I got two of the premier kind of early game Mutate Matters creatures, the Essence Symbiote and the Zagoth Mamba. And then my whole goal was to just start mutating onto them with cards like Glowstone Recluse, and the Migratory Greathorn was pretty good, and just start bashing, right? My big game enders were Auspicious Starix and Greater Sandworm. You can see I did not have a lot of removal. In fact, I had like Mutual Destruction, and a lot of times I had to play out like a 3 or 4 drop and then immediately Mutual Destruction it. The mana fixin' was good. There was plenty of it going around. The mutate stuff felt really broken if your opponent didn't answer it right away, but also risky, right? There were a lot of times where I played 2-drop and then I had the option to mutate, and I kind of had to ask whether or not I wanted to do that. Because if my opponent just used a removal spell, they get a 2-for-1, right? Which is why I'm going to prioritize these mutate creatures that do something that give me a card's worth of advantage when they come into play. Auspicious Starts was absolutely amazing. Cavern Whisper was also very good, and even Fertilid. Fertilid really pulled its weight, because what happens when you mutate onto a creature is you end up basically cannibalizing the stats of the first creature, right? If I go Essence Symbiote and then mutate Greathorn on it, I basically lose 2/2 worth of stat. I'm upgrading to 3/4, but that's what I would have gotten if I just cast this card separately. So I have to be willing to give away the initial body just to gain its abilities, right? With Fertilid, you get those +2 or those 2+1/+1 counters, which is a pretty big deal. And then there was like Titanoth Rex, which I got to cast once. Cyclone's still great, removal still great, but that was the first deck. The second one was not quite as explosive or aggressive with Mutate. It was more of a Mardu kind of recursive aggro deck. I don't really know how to talk about it. It had a lot of 2-drops. It had these Leosaur dudes, which I never mutated, even though the option came up. Some of the highlights, I had Ruinous Ultimatum, which I first picked. I'm not sure that it's correct to first pick this card, especially since it's one of the ultimatums that's not in green. But a lot of times the game came down to, okay, I'll just stall with this stuff, draw this, cast this, and then win. And that's basically how it played out. This went 7-2. I lost to an Amori deck, the Golgari companion, which they got out on turn 3 with a Skull Prophet, and then immediately started just like slamming mutate creatures onto an Auspicious Starks and destroyed me. But this deck played out very nicely. Loris was amazing, and General's Enforcer was amazing as well. This card single-handedly won me multiple games. Games I was behind in, it just stalled long enough with the activated ability that I was able to claw back in. I even decked one opponent who had a very, very clearly better deck than I did by just activating this enough times to make blockers and trade off creatures. The removal was good. I already saw the downside of Heartless Act not being able to kill a creature with a counter on it, which I do think this card is extremely overrated. It is not Doomblade, but it still kills at least 50, 60, 70% of the creatures that you care about killing, and that's good enough, right? And then there was some stuff in the middle here, which I had some mutate creatures that didn't matter too much. Blood Curdle was obviously fantastic, and I find it hard to believe we're going to find too many picks that are better than a Blood Curdle. And yeah, Lava Serpent was decent, Blitz Leech was decent. The mana worked out very nicely here. I had one of each dual land, plus an Evolving Wilds, plus Farfinder, my new favorite friend, and Savai Crystal I even decided to play in this deck just because I had the ultimatum. So that's kind of my experience with the format so far. And I think we're going to go ahead and try this out again. We'll see what happens again. I'm not sure. The set is so weird. The mechanics are strange that I don't know how it's going to go. And it's very costly. So we're going to do our best to actually win, right? So that's the game plan today. Thanks for joining us. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, anything you want to leave, if you want to show any appreciation, feel free to subscribe to the channel for more content like this. I do believe for the most part we will be recording human drafts moving forward unless I hear otherwise, but they just feel so much better than the bot drafts, and it is going to solve a lot of the problems people had with drafting on Arena. So 10,000 coins. Oh, the prize structure, I guess, in case you care real quick. So it's 10,000 coins or 1,500 gems to enter, which is a lot. You're aiming for about 4 wins at minimum. That gives you your 1,400 gems back, basically your initial investment. And if you hit the 5th win, you're actually netting gems. You can go all the way up to 7, which gives you 2,200. But it's pretty steep fall off if you only get the first 2 wins, right? 250 for 2 wins jumps all the way to 1,000 for 3 wins. So if you hit a 3rd win before you hit a 3rd loss, you're probably okay with it. And then once you hit the 4th win, you're probably pretty happy, right? So let's go ahead and try this out. 10,000 coins. We get one of these every time we enter. I've gotten all uncommons, so they're going to go ahead and put us in our draft table here. I know some people have been experiencing problems with the initial kind of running of drafts. I haven't had any of those yet, so hopefully we don't. Ready up, wait for everybody to ready, and then it's going to fire off like a normal draft. Now, the one thing I'm not sure about is there's clearly timed picks, but I can't see a timer anywhere, or at least I haven't found a timer. Hey, Smaug. All right, so let's go ahead and take our pick, and then we'll talk about stuff in between. Our rare is Mythos of Brokos, and you can actually like highlight a pick here. Let me just look through and see if there's any commons or uncommons worth talking about. Not really. There's Blade Banish, and I like the Dreamtail Heron and the Of One Mind, but I kind of want to try out rares, right? So this is 4 mana to get 2 permanents back from your graveyard to your hand, but if you pay blue-black in addition to the green-green, you get to basically search your library for one of those permanents first. There's also Titanoth Rex, which is a little confusing with the Godzilla art here, but this card is just solid. If you're able to ramp into it or cast it, it's pretty good. I think I'm going to try out the rare here. 4 mana, get 2 permanents back is pretty decent, and if we can go blue-black here, that's fine as well, although we're not going to push blue-black. There's no real commons that stack up to no other commons, I should say, that stack up to like Blade Banish. I guess maybe Dreamtail Heron's pretty good. Of One Mind's good, but I want to try out rares early off in the format. Next up, we have Call of the Death Dweller. This gets any combination of creatures with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard. You put a menace counter on one and a death touch counter on one. It seems pretty good. Actually quite nice to follow up with Mythos, but there's also Flame Spell, which is just 4 mana, deal 4, and then has some extra text. Basically, this is a spell with trample on it. There's Farfinder as well, which is really nice once you do end up pushing into like a 3rd color, which is going to happen very often. Especially, this card, you can play it as a green card, but it really wants you to play blue and black. I'm actually probably just going to take Flame Spell because it's just a very good removal spell. And we'll stay open for now. I do like this Call of the Death Dweller, but I think Flame Spell is just very good. Following that up, we have Fire Prophecy, which is a weaker Flame Spell, but still pretty good. There's also Hornbash Mentor, which is the Trample Matters Mentor. These all kind of function the same. They come down, they put a counter of their, given mechanic onto a non-human creature, and then you can tap these to put counters on the creatures with those mechanics. There's also Neutralize, which is pretty decent as well. I think I'm going to take Fire Prophecy, just take the early game removal. I'm not sure how much early game removal you actually need in a set like this, but this is showing me red's pretty open. All right, 3 mana, 5/4, but it's only a creature while you when you cycle. There's also a Ram Through, which is instant speed Rabid Bite, and also if the creature has trample, your opponent takes trample damage off the fight. I think I'm just going to take this. I don't have any cyclers yet. This card seems decent if you're already in a cycling deck, but Ram Through is just great. And I'm starting off with 3 removal spells here. Primal Empathy, probably fine. Oh, here's a Greater Sandworm. Greater Sandworm is still good. There's Fertilid and Essence Symbiote as well. I like Essence Symbiote. It pays you off for having more mutate cards, but Greater Sandworm seems pretty good here. Pretty good sign that these cards are coming. And remember, we can definitely read signals in a human draft. So let's just take our first Greater Sandworm there. Oh, perfect. Charge of the Forever Beast. Sorry, I had to reread that one. There's also Go for Blood, which is another fight spell. Really weird that there's so many fight spells in this set. Blitzleech I think is pretty good too, but Charge of the Forever Beast is nice. You reveal a creature in your hand and deal damage to any target creature or planeswalker equal to the revealed creature's power. Obviously, we need to pick up more creatures. We have 4 removal spells, a draw spell basically, and a Greater Sandworm. Charge of the Forever Beast does take a little bit of a hit when sometimes, you empty your hand out and you top deck this. It's pretty bad, whereas you'd rather have ram through. But I think these 4 spells already are a pretty good start. And we're not married to red. Red-green archetypes. There's Teamer. And red-green is basically the, Trample Matters archetype, which doesn't matter too much here. Ram through is just fine without the trample text on it. Flame Spill basically has trample. Hey, we've got the 2 cards that deal excess damage. So yeah, we're waiting on a pack here. Let's go ahead and click this. So here's what the table looks like. I'm right here. This person, Smog, is passing to me, but they're waiting on the pack. They just got past a pack. So you can kind of see where the packs are all kind of stacking up. On Moto, everything passes simultaneously. In real life, you basically pass simultaneously. But here, you can just keep passing because it's all digital. And as soon as the pack comes to you, you can pick. Footfall Crater I don't think is very good. Weaponize could be good, but I need to see it in action before I really take it here. I think I'm going to take Humble Naturalist. 2 mana, 1/3 mana dork, but you can only use the mana to cast creatures. Seems pretty good to me. I also think Thwart the Enemy is going to be sneaky good in this format. Footfall Crater seems respectable, but I'm going to take this thing and come into pick 8. We've got basically a good blue card, a good white card, an okay black card, okay green card. This gets 2 creatures back from your graveyard, but only if one of them's a human and one of them's a non-human. I have 1 human and 1 non-human so far. I think I'm just going to take it. There's no red in this pack. Maybe I should take blue and just pick up on the fact that blue is pretty open here. This card's not amazing. Yeah, I'm going to actually just take a Divination here. Another Humble Naturalist. There's also Pyroceratops. It gets bigger whenever you cast a non-creature spell, which I have a decent amount of. Has Trample, which might matter for the archetype. I don't necessarily need the second Divination. Another Humble Naturalist seems like it'd be fine, but I think I'm actually just going to take Pyroceratops here. I think I only want to play these crystals if I'm all 3 colors. I'm going to take Drannith Stinger. 2 mana, 2/2. Whenever you cycle, deals damage to each opponent. Not that I'm a cycling deck, but having an early game creature seems pretty decent here. Not really seeing any reason to splash, but I also didn't give up much. I guess I have 2 humans now. 2 humans, 2 non-humans. Plenty of removal. Yeah, Excavation Mole seems pretty good. 3 mana, 3/3 trample, and then it mills yourself for 3, which matters a little bit for this Mythos card, even though I'm probably not going to have the blue and black. There's also Shredded Sails, which is a basically main deckable Plummet. You can see my pack stacking up because I'm talking about cards. Yep, Shredded Sails is playable. Oh, Essence Symbiote Wield. Okay, I don't actually have any Mutate cards yet, but this is a very powerful card if you end up with Mutate cards. Serrated Scorpion is not. And our last pick, land. No mana fix in there, but it's fine. Our rare this time is Offspring's Revenge, which lets you exile a red, white, or black creature from your graveyard at the beginning of combat, and then you make a 1/1 copy of it that has haste. We're not going to take it here. It's double off color. I'm not even convinced that it's that strong, given that there aren't a lot of enter the battlefield triggers. What I'm looking at is Glowstone Recluse, which is a very good mutate card, and then Proud Wildbonder, which lets your trample creatures deal damage as though they weren't blocked. Also a 4/3 trampler. Right now, I have Pyroceratops and Excavation Mole, which are both trample creatures. I gave up on the Trample Mentor in pack 1, but we can really push this trample theme now. Right? We've got a couple tramplers. This will be another one. I do like this Recluse, but I think I'm just going to take the Wild Bonder here. Ooh, a Song of Creation. So you discard your hand each turn at the beginning of each end step, but whenever you cast a spell, you draw 2 cards, and you may play an additional land each turn. So if you stick this, you basically get a bunch of cards to play with each turn. I think this card's probably really good. There's also Titanoth Rex, which is very powerful as well. Although this is a late game card. I'm not sure. I don't have any mana fixing for this card, but it can just let you turbo cards out, right? I think the rare is probably just really good. If we can pick up a couple blue mana fixers, That's fine. It is a little awkward that this Humble Naturalist does not actually tap for blue when this card is concerned. Yeah, this rare is good, right? It feels good. 4 mana, play it. You do have to immediately discard your hand. This card is good, but you're probably only casting it like 20% of the time. Bristling Boar is also good. All right, I guess we took Song of Creation. We have a Triome here. It's only one color, and it doesn't fix for blue either. This one doesn't help too much. All right, so could take a Farfinder. Farfinder does help with the blue splash there, although I'm not sure we want to push that too much. Could also take another Essence Symbiote, which is not great unless we're really trying to jam mutate creatures moving forward. I don't like Adventurous Impulse, and we're not really a deck for these guys, even though they're both fine. I think I'm just going to take Farfinder. Have options to play this blue card. Ooh, Lutree's nice. There's also a Pacifism here, pick 4, and Cloud Piercer, Almighty Brushwag, both perfectly fine cards. I'm going to take Lutree. It's sure, but it's double red if we want it to be, and what you do is you, if every card in our deck has a different name, which we'll keep an eye on, we can just have this, we can access this from our sideboard, essentially. And then when it flashes in, you can copy an instant or sorcery you control. We've got some cheap instants or sorcery, so once you get to 5 or 6 mana, you go removal spell, flash this, double up on the removal spell. So that seems like a pretty nice pickup. Surprised that's coming so late. Ooh, Eerie Ultimatum's awesome, but you do have to be exactly these 3 colors to play it. There's Lordraxis, which gets an instant or sorcery back from your graveyard to your hand when you mutate it, but we're not going to be able to cast it that well. There's also Migratory Greathorn, which is probably just a pick here. Again, this card's pretty good, but I don't want to be blue, right? I don't want to go all in on blue here, but Migratory Greathorn, nice mutate creature. It gives you a rampant growth effect, right, when you mutate it. Also 4 mana, 3/4. There's Capture Sphere. There's also Tigerilla. There's Fertilid, Evolving Wilds. Wow. Okay, so 4 cards that I really want here. I mean, I guess I'm not taking the blue card, so 2 Mana Fixer-esque cards, and then there's this 4/3 that can gain Trample, essentially, or Menace. I think you give it Menace more often than Trample, but in this deck, probably wanted to gain Trample. But I could also just take Evolving Wilds. I'm at 17 cards. Evolving Wilds basically shores up our blue splash with this Farfinder. If I could pick up like 1 blue Mana Fixer, that's good. But there's also Fertilid, which Mana Fixes as well, although you don't really activate this that much. I also don't have to push blue. Oh no, I took Capture Sphere. All right, we need to speed things up a little bit here. So Fight Spell, I think I'm going to take a Mana Fixer here, especially since I now have this Capture Sphere. Flycatcher Giraffe, it's fine. Spell Chaser, Spell Cat Eater, Spell Eater Wolverine's fine, but we'll take Mana Fixin'. Avian Oddity is good. Phase Dolphin's decent. Might just take the 2/3 First Striker, I guess. It's not like an amazing card, but it's fine. I don't really want to splash Avian Oddity. And I think I'm going to take Fully Grown here. It's a combat trick, which we could probably use 1 or 2 of, and it puts a trample counter on the creature. I do wish this Capture Sphere I'd picked something else. It's what we get for talking too much, though. Alright, another trample creature. Bloodfell Caves doesn't help us that much. Giraffid's fine. Again, Fully Grown is fine, but just another dude. I wouldn't mind having the Mentor. If I could pick one up, that'd be great. I know I passed one in pack 1. Probably not playing Shredded Sails. This is still best of 1, by the way. Song of Creation. This is the Blink card. I guess I just take another Dranith Stinger. The Blink card doesn't do too much. I guess it's kind of insane with Lutree. Kind of. Not really insane. Weaponized, Thornwood Falls, Brushwag. I like Brushwag a lot more when you have Mutate cards. It does have Trample, but I'm going to take Thornwood Falls. So we're kind of full-on teamer now. Adaptive Shimmer, not a card I'm interested in playing. I guess I have this Mythos of Brokos that I didn't really think about if we needed black mana or anything. Alright, final pack. We got a Hunted Nightmare, which is very good, but double black, so we're not going to consider that there. We have Jeskai Crystal. We have Ominous Seas, which is really whatchamacallit here. It looks like we're not going to get anything too well out of our first pick here. Probably like Lava Serpent. You know, big, hasty creature, but it has Cyclone, which kind of makes up for it. Could also take Dreamtail Heron. Now that we're pretty solid in I mean, we're still basically splashing blue, right? We don't even need to play Capture Sphere, but we have this Song of Creation. We can play this as a double red card. Lava Serpent is very replaceable, but so are all these other cards. Dreamtail Heron, I think, has pretty high upside of just, giving a creature flying first off, but also drawing you a card when it mutates. I think I'm going to take that. There's a Glowstone Recluse. Nice. Oh, there's a Blood Curdle. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm taking Blood Curdle. I could take Ram Through, but I do think I'm going to take my Glowstone Recluse here. That gives me, 3 mutate creatures, so makes the Essence Symbiote pretty good. Also, this card is just great. Blood Curdle is very good, though. I don't think I'm supposed to go for the 4th color here. The Ram Through is calling my name as well. There's another War Draxus. Yeah, black, very open. Thwart the enemy. I don't like heightened reflexes very much. There's Blister Spit Gremlin. I guess I could take War Draxus. Yeah, I'll go ahead and just take War Draxus here. Ooh, Grim Dancer. Black is super open. Jeez. Oh, we have a Fertilid, a Bristling Boar, and a Thornwood Falls. I think I'm just going to take Fertilid here. I'm at 24 playables. I'm not going to play Sonorous Hellbinder. Go for Blood. Would be fine on like a wheel or something. Bristling Boar is also just fine. I think I'm actually going to take Fertilid here. Clash of Titans, huh? Alright, this card is tricky because I suspect it's not that great. You have 2 creatures fight each other. And the idea is you want your opponent's 2 creatures to fight each other, but it's very rare that this actually kills 2 creatures. Maybe it's worth taking here over the 3rd Excavation Mole. We can try it out. I think Hamper and Snare is probably pretty good. It's like a mini fog type effect that you can cycle. There's also Frenzied Raptor, which is okay, right? Frenzied Raptor is nothing special. It does play nicely with a ton of removal spells. I don't want this second Prickly Marmoset. Yeah, I'm just going to take the red card here. Might not play it. Ooh, wow, that's late. I am going to take Charge of the Forever Beast over another Sandworm. Wouldn't mind the Sandworm. Also, Survivor's Bond's probably fine here now, too. But Charge of the Forever Beast is great removal. Probably cut Capture Sphere at this point. Probably cut as much blue as possible. I could just go straight red-green. But I do think I want to try Song of Creation. I know Heron's probably good. Lutri we can play regardless. And Lord Draxus, yes, it's a blue card, but in order to mutate this, you can play red-red. So it's not too bad on our mana. Moth's Great Cocoon. There's a Thieving Otter here, which is really good. The Cocoon is not something I'm going to play. Oh, here's the timer. I didn't see that last time. Jungle Hollow. I could play a Jungle Hollow to give us outs to play this Mythos of Brokos. I don't think I'm going to play anything else there. So yeah, we'll consider it. Wheel in a Skull Prophet. I guess Giraffid? Yeah, Giraffid seems fine. Don't have a lot of top end, actually. Wow, we wheeled Ram Through and Humble Naturalist. So I'm going to take Ram Through. We have all the removal we can possibly want. I think that's going to make Lutri very good. Makes me not want to play like Clash of Titans here since I already have just great removal. Did we get there on Essence Symbiote? I think with 3 mutate creatures we're probably fine on Essence Symbiote. Don't think we need some of these 3s here. The Clash of Titans we're going to ditch. I'm going to have to make a lot of cuts, aren't I? Probably cut the blue cards. Have this as a splash. I'm not going to splash black for Mythos, but Mythos should be fine here. It only gets back permanents, though. So you can't use it to get back removal spells, which we have quite a few of. I'll take a Bristling Boar. Seems like a good middle of the pack type card. Another Excavation Mole as well. I mean, Excavation Moles have to be better than Frenzied Raptor, right? I mean, that's not 100% true, but it's got to be true. And then we'll figure out deck building. So you can see the kind of human drafts go pretty smoothly there. As far as our deck, I don't know. We don't have a lot of late game stuff. Keep in mind, Greater Sandworm has Cyclone too, so I usually like put these down here, which gives us a pretty cheap deck in total. I don't want to cut too many of my big creatures here. I might just cut Mythos of Brokos, right? It only gets permanents back. Oh, this is a combo with Lord Draxus, though. This gets this back, this gets this back. Hello. Do I have too much removal? No, I think I'm in a good spot on removal. I think I'm going to cut Frenzied Raptor. Prickly Marmoset's calling my name. I think I'm just going to cut Mythos of Brokos. Like, I'm already playing this as a form of card advantage. Yeah. Glowstone Recluse is good. Don't necessarily need Fertilid. I'm not mutating anything gigantic onto it, although mutating anything onto Fertilid's probably fine. I can't cut too many creatures because I have these Charge of the Forever Beasts, which is actually kind of awkward because I don't have too many big creatures, right? Do still need to cut 2 more cards. 14, 15, 16, 17. I have some blue cards I can play as well. I do think the Dreamtail Heron would be pretty good, though, as a way to just get my creatures through once the ground's mucked up. I think I'm going to cut this Prickly Marmoset. Farfinder I just love. I'm sorry. I can't get rid of it. There's no way. How good is Pyroceratops? Only takes 1 trigger for that card to be good. The Stingers cycle, so I find it hard to believe I would cut them basically ever. Alright, am I ditching Fertilid here? I don't know, my card quality seems pretty good. I can see also cutting Song of Creation, but we're not doing that. We want to try it out at least. Whenever you cast a spell, draw 2 cards. So you basically power through your turn, but you have to play everything at sorcery speed because you discard at end of turn. 2 more cuts here. So what do I have for removal? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 removal spells. That seems like a really good spot to be in. Although 4 of them are creature-based, right? I need to have something going on in order to make those work. I could see ditching one of the Charge of the Forever Beasts, because a lot of times it's going to be 3 mana, deal 3, right? I only have maybe 4 creatures that make it bigger than that. 3 creatures that make it bigger than that. Do I cut a Charge of the Forever Beast? As good as this card is. Okay, I think I'm going to cut it. I have Ram Throughs. I still have Burn spells. And I do need to ditch 1 more card here. Maybe one of the 2 drops. Essence Symbiote is probably not great, right? I have Glowstone Recluse. And I have the 2 top-end mutate creatures with the Great Horn and the Dreamtail Heron. I think I'm going to ditch Essence Symbiote here. I'm not playing the Lord Draxus. I'm not really all in on mutating. So I think it's fine to get rid of that. It's just going to be a 2-mana 2/2 most of the time, which don't seem like they're going to stack up. At least this one ramps me and these ones cycle if it comes later in the game, whereas this one's pretty poor later in the game, as much as I like the card. And you can see I've got good card quality in my sideboard, right? Which probably means I drafted a decent deck at least. I have a sneaking suspicion that I'm a little low on actual power here, but I've got some card advantage and I've got good removal. I've got a little bit of late game, so I think it's going to be fine, and we're going to try it out. So thanks for joining me. That was our first crack at, well, my third crack, but our first crack at Ikoria draft, and we'll see how we do. Thanks for watching, as always. Oh, let's get this second island out of here. Yeah, we don't need multiple islands. That's 7, 8, 9 green sources. 7, 8, 9 green sources. I'm majority green. I'm definitely going to ditch a mountain for another force. Okay, let's try that again. Yeah, if you enjoyed this, feel free to subscribe below. If you want to see more content like this, it lets me know that it's worth recording it, because I'm going to play it anyway, right? Yeah, let's go ahead and jump into matches, see how we do. Match 1 coming up. All right, we are here for match number 1 against Fubar the Badger. We're on the play, and we have an awkward hand, but we do have a cycler. I think I'm going to keep this, although Song of Creation's close to a mulligan. I think the fact that we have a cycler here is pretty good. Although this is planning on getting started on turn 4, right? Which isn't great. I could mulligan this hand, but I'm on the play, which is why I want to keep it. All right. This is one of those hands where I would tell people to mulligan it, but I'm going to keep it because I hate mulligan. Fubar the Badger is mulligan as well. There's a lot of this matchups, like I think this is Platinum or something, and we're getting paired against Bronze. I think it's just because there's such a high quantity of people. Like I played against someone who was Mythic yesterday. I will see on turn 2 whether or not I need to cycle this, because if I draw a Mountain, I'll just cast it. Yeah, see? Mountain, perfect. Gotta be careful about casting cards in this set. Between Mutate and Cyclone, there's a lot of things that give you multiple options. So we don't care too much about the effect here. It's also a human, which is awkward for any Mutate creatures we might draw. Like if we draw Migratory Greathorn. Cathartic Reunion. Pitch in Farfinder Island to draw 3 cards. Drew another Mountain. And we'll just jam for 2. My hand's not great, but I can just cast Bristling Boar next turn, and I do want to empty my hand for this Song of Creation. This is an instant as well. Like, if they just play a 2 toughness creature, I can just kill it. I'm not sure I want to use my Ram Through on that. Another Drannith Stinger. Probably end up cycling that one, to be honest. 2/2s drop off pretty late in the game. I suspect this card's very good if you go full-on Jeskai Cyclone, right? If you play one of these, play another one, you can just cycle, and ignore whatever else is going on. Frostling's still great. Aegis Turtle. All right. That is straight up brick wall for us. 5. That's it. Strictly Better Kraken Hatchling. Yeah, I'm definitely going to cycle this. Oh, it's cycling for 1. God, the cycling costs are so cheap. All right, let's go ahead and use a green, actually. Cycle that. Yes, I would like to pay 1. Ping. The opponent could easily have a counter spell here. Flame spell? Sure. So I can still attack with both, right? And that way they either trade Frostlings for my 2/2 or they chump block. I've got instant speed interaction here, so I don't feel like I'm going to get blown out. If they want to trade Frostlings for my 2/2, that's okay. Get their creatures off board so they can't mutate. Seems fine by me. And I don't really want to use a removal spell to get through this 05 here. And there's going to be a lot of pauses like this. Oh, Sea Dasher Octopus. All right, well, we're going to kill that immediately. And I think I just want to ram... Well, this deals 4. They both deal 4 right now. Flame Spell is the more efficient one. But we're going to go ahead and kill that. Deal 2 to our opponent. And just get rid of it before they have the chance to mutate onto it. All right, let's see what you got. All right, this is 1/1 Flying Haste. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on it. All right, we need that blue mana because our hand is looking a little empty here. I'm just going to go ahead and pass the turn. I've got this Ram Through up if Dorat gets too big. Or what is it? Sprite Dragon. Can you change the art back? I'd prefer to actually play with the original art. All right, Dorat's going to peck in for 1. Opponent's holding up instant speed interaction. Fine draw. Again, taps for blue, but doesn't actually help us cast our Song of Creation. Didn't look like our opponent had any sort of interaction there. I wonder if I'm supposed to just ram through and kill this Aegis Turtle. I don't think I'm supposed to. So far, our opponent's straight up blue-red as well. They've got a Farfinder. All right, I think I'm going to go for the ram through and kill this now. Target creature you control, target creature I don't control. Yeah, our opponent has no instant speed interaction. That makes a 1/1 human and a 1/1 haste dinosaur. Very weird. I feel like I'm in very good shape if I draw blue mana here, though. Granted, most of my blue mana comes in tapped. Oh, Greater Sandworm. I can actually cast that. I don't feel like my opponent has anything. They could have like an Essence Scatter or something, but none of their creatures can block Greater Sandworm. Can't be blocked by creatures power 2 or less. And I feel like they've got 3 blank cards. Like, I don't know what they could be. They're not counter spells. Doesn't feel like they're anything that can kill a creature. Maybe just more sorcery speed stuff. They don't seem to have cycling either. Sure, Excavation Mole's just fine. So I'm just going to attack with Greater Sandworm here. Can't be chumped. Pouncing Shore Shark. Okay. That's fine by me. They get to go ahead and bounce a creature to my hand. I'll just replay the Sandworm. That was just a fog. Guess I had to lose the 1/1, which does matter. Alright, they're going to steal this for the turn. I'm fine with that. They just want to use a spell to deal some damage. I think I'll just trade off Bristling Boar for this thing. That way they still have no creatures that can block the Sandworm. Unless they find a way to sack it or something. But there's not a lot of that. Ram through is a nice little trick to have here. Alright, let's jam for 7. I'll hit you back. And I will play this Excavation Mole. Okay, Glowstone Recluse would have been nice. That would have been the win next turn, but we might be able to win anyway. I can ram through Excavation Mole on this, and it'll deal 2 damage, because the trample damage. It's basically fight with trample matters. Ooh, Lava Serpent's nice, but we're just going to kill that. Yeah, I guess we'll just... Well, actually, no, my opponent's just dead, right? They can't block this. Ram through here. Yeah, I don't need to block this at all. I don't think there are any 0 mana spells that can get me. Alright, let's make sure this works. This thing hits this thing, you take 2. Nice. And then Sandworm finishes the deal. Alright, well, Song of Creation not looking great there. We've got multiple ways to fix mana. We've got like 5 ways to find blue. Would have been pretty good, I think. Zing. Alright, we take the first game. Greater Sandworm, still pretty good card. Definitely our biggest beater. We're playing against a bronze player who kind of just used like an act of treason, so I'm not sure. Maybe they're a little bit newer. I assume there's going to be a lot of those playing in these Ikoria events because they all get a free draft and everything. But we do take our first win, and we'll go ahead and hop on back in. See you for match 2. All right, welcome back. We are here for match number 2 against a Darion. We've got to keep all of our colors. We've got a Farfinder on turn 3, which isn't the best play here, but maybe going Ceratops into like Ram Through is good. We've got the Greater Sandworm as well, which I've got enough mana in my hand that I don't think I need to cycle this unless they just like come bashing out of the gates or something. Bristling Boar, also a fine draw. Yeah, I'm not going to cycle my Sandworm here. If I was looking for something specific, then I would definitely cycle Sandworm. But I'm not looking for anything. I'm going to get my 3rd color. Go get a mountain with this Farfinder. I just love this card because you don't mind mutating onto it either, right? You don't care if you lose it. Like if I draw my Dreamtail Heron or whatever. Same thing with Frostlings. 2 of the very few enter the battlefield triggers. Okay, that's really nice to have with a Ram Through. I'm going to play my Bristling Boar, though. They know about the mountain. We'll play that. Maybe I should have played Pyroceratops there. Oh. I'm an idiot. I didn't even think about making this my companion. I have multiple Ram Throughs, so that's not great, but... yeah. I forgot all about the companion on this. Wow. Okay. Well, anyway. I'm going to go ahead and poke for 1, and I guess we'll give this thing Vigilance. They're blue, so maybe giving it Reach is good. I'm going to give it Vigilance. I think I can kill a flyer if need be. Yeah, I forgot all about Lutri. We have a couple multiples in our deck, though, like the Excavation Mole. We have a second Ram Through, but we should be able to finagle things a little bit differently. Alright, so here I do have the Ram Through Lutri combo, right? I can go Ram Through this, cast Lutri, copy it, kill this, attack for 4. The alternative is I could play Pyroceratops, take a turn off. I do want to get the Pyroceratops going, but I think that's pretty good, right? Kill both your creatures, attack for 4, and have a 3-2 on board. Can do that all at instant speed as well. But this gets down as a 3-4 trampler. This also stops my opponent from mutating next turn with something huge if I kill both their creatures. So yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and do that. Ram through, have this fight target creature you control. This. Oh, submit, sure. Okay, do that, submit. Pay for the spell, cast Lutri, copy Ram Through. Resolve that. Have this fight. This is annoying on full control. Alright. Boom. Now if they play like a big creature here, it's a little awkward, but I have a Sandworm if I draw land. If not, I've still got Ceratops. So we're looking fine here. Not much I can do about this Bristling Boar, though. Alright, what you got, opponent? They had 5 mana last turn. Their best play was Bristling Boar. But they have 6 now, so they might be able to play a 6-drop. Right? That's what you do on 6. Well, Lutri was pretty good there. It was basically... Okay, Sorcery, Speed, Capture Sphere. Still get to poke in a little bit of damage. Ooh, Glowstone Recluse is nice. I think I'm just going to play Pyroceratops this turn, get in for 4, and then use the Glowstone Recluse on whatever needs to be able to get in next turn. Hopefully just the Trampler. I could have gotten in an extra 3 points of damage this turn by mutating this onto, like, Farfinder. Thieving Otter, not looking too smooth in this game. Wingspan Mentor. Okay, so Thieving Otter's going to have flying. That's a little bit of a combo. There's my 7th mana. Alright, so if I go Glowstone Recluse on Pyroceratops, it becomes a 5-power Trampler. It also gives Reach. I could just cast it and stop this Thieving Otter from getting in there. But then they just remove it, right? Anyway, Lutri can attack here. I don't think they're going to block. But if I play Lutri, or when I play this here, that becomes a 5-power, so I attack for 8. They might not be willing to take that, but I don't want them drawing 2 cards per turn. Okay, let's go mutate on the Trampler. Oh yeah, I guess 4 power. Alright, if they want to trade the Otter for Lutri, I'm pretty happy with it. Otherwise they take 7. Yes, that's nice. We got a Sandworm coming down next turn. We've got a 4/5 on board with Trample and Reach. If we mutate it again, it gets 2 more +1/+1 counters from the Glowstone Recluse's ability. And it feels like I'm pretty far ahead. Like, they don't have too much more interaction here. I mean, that was a fine turn, but they're too far behind, I think, to really get that going. I think I agree with them to block, because if not, they're priced into attacking with this, which means they have 1 less blocker anyway, and they have to hope they draw into something, and they take a bunch of extra damage. Here's another Bristling Boar. So they can double block the 4/5 now. Ooh, maybe not. So this would actually grow it to 5 power because of the Pyroceratops. Give it 3 plus 3 plus 3. Makes it 8. I mean, they're going to double block, right? They basically have to. Am I going to get blown out by anything? I don't think so. So now it has trample and a trample counter. And we still push in a little bit of damage. I probably should have attacked with Farfinder there too. Still got Sandworm in my hand. Alright, they could play a Sandworm here if they've been holding one. Which would be admittedly pretty good. Kahira. 3-2 Vigilance. Pumps all your other cats, dinosaurs, beasts, elementals, nightmares, blah blah blah. Gem Razor. Oh, they had some good ones sitting in their hand. It is a beast as well. So if I attack with the 5-6, I'm not going to do that. Just attack with the 7-7, or play a 7-7. They're top decking. And put them in a position where they have to block both next turn. 2 chump blocks. Go ahead. Alright, do need them to kind of brick here, but not too hard. What does this do? Destroy an artifact or enchantment when it mutates. Not likely to get bigger than a 5-5. Has a reach, worth knowing. This is just 3-2 Vigilance, pumps their other guys. Okay. Ooh, okay, never mind. So that thing is going to be a 7-7. Still just has to trade for Sandworm. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so if I attack with both, they can go block here, block here. I don't like that. So I think I just attack with Sandworm, make them lose this. Play out my 2 creatures and just try to push in. They could also chump with Kahira, but that's not going to happen. Yep. And I'm not playing around a Wrath against blue-green, so I'm just going to play out some dudes and pass. Ouch. Those were good ones. So I've got lethal with this, and then I've got lethal with my other creatures too. Plus this thing has trample, so they're going to need to draw something very good here. That's not going to do it, I don't think. Do I attack with everything? So this attacks. They have to block it. Let's say they block here. They take 2. This blocks here. And they take 1 there. So that's 3, 4, 5. Or, yeah, I'm just going to attack with everything. They can't afford to double block this, so I think we got it. They can't put this on anything else, or they take the 3, and if they block, yeah, they're just dead here. Good game. They had some scary cards, but they drew them later in the game. Nice. Take our second win here. Go to Platinum 1. Hey, if we win out the next 5 games, we go up to Diamond, which I've only been once. I don't play religiously enough to ever reach Diamond, but did pretty good in Theros Beyond Death. That gives us our second win against another 2-color deck, surprisingly. And we'll go ahead and jump on in. Match 3 coming up. Alright, welcome back. How do you guys feel about this hand? You think we should keep? I think I'm going to keep. I want to try this card out really badly. It would have been good in that last game, too. All green mana. We have a Fertilid. We're on the draw. Okay, this is another one where we can just cycle this. I'm going to get rid of this. Well, the song could actually get me back in this game. Maybe this charge isn't good here. Maybe my game plan is to stick Fertilid, activate a couple times, stick Song, and then try to win from there. Charge of the Forever Beast looks pretty bad in this hand, though. The Song's not good either. Alright. Again, maybe I should have revisited having a Lutri in my deck. I've got 2 of these, but I can replace it pretty easily. Do I cycle this? Just cycle it right now in case I draw a tap land or something. I think I'm going to do that. Second ram through. Alright, Excavation Mole is fine. Opponent's got some good mana going on there. We're going to see a third color. Black. So we're in the Sultai deck, which is a lot of graveyard stuff. Mostly black-green, and then for some reason Sultai also has blue cards going on. Fire Prophecy is not a great draw. If I'm running into a counterspell, I don't really care what gets countered here. I'm just going to play Fertilid and pass. If I draw a land, I can go double activate Fertilid. Target my opponent, because this can target any player. Parcel Beast, this card's amazing. Alright, so we are probably on the double Fertilid plan here, unfortunately. Could double ram through this thing, but 1 mana, tap, draw a card. And if it's a land, put it on the battlefield. This card is absurd. Play Excavation Mole or activate Fertilid. That is a question. It's going to activate Fertilid twice. I don't think I'm winning this game. I'm in pretty bad shape. The good thing about this card, from my perspective, is it doesn't benefit my opponent to mutate onto it. It doesn't give you any extra bonuses, but the card is very good. Like, they pay 1, they basically draw a card. I don't know why they keep making these cards so efficient, like Risen Reef. There should be some downside. You should lose the card if it's not a land. So they're going to put this card in their hand, and if it's a land, they put it directly onto the battlefield untapped. Get out of here. Get out of here. Stop making cards like this that are uncommon. Karuga. We are dead. Draw a card for each other permanent you control with converted mana cost 3 or greater. Alright, well, I'm going to go get a mountain and an island here. And I don't think we're playing Song of Creation yet, but we're not looking great here. Greater Sandworm. And I ditched the Forever Beast card. So, unfortunately, I have 2 4 toughness creatures, so I play this and pass. I could also go play this. Doesn't do anything. Unfortunately, the 4 toughness creatures are really boning me here. Alright, Excavation Mole it is. Sure. And just ship the turn. They've still got 6 cards in hand. They've got a draw engine. This is just a 5-4 on board now, so that's fine. I mean, it's not fine. It's still 5-4. I might go, like, block with Excavation Mole and Fire Prophecy it. Yep. Activate Parcel Beast. I don't understand why this card's so good. What you got? I'm just going to chump here, try to keep my life total as high as possible. They're just going to keep adding to the board, though, is the problem. Sure, Wolf Bear. Let's go ahead and do this now. I can ditch one of these ram throughs. They're not looking that great, although if I can stick Greater Sandworm, they start to look pretty good. I am going to pitch one of them. We drew Pyroceratops, which is okay here. Oh, Bristling Boar is actually better, for sure. So I'm going to go ahead and just ram through this thing now. While it looks like they don't have too much interaction. Uh-oh, they have something there. They didn't have a way to interact with a creature on the stack, but they have a ram through of their own. Youch. Yeah, maybe I should have waited. I definitely should have waited. Parcel Beast, just tap, draw a card. Completely unreasonable effect. Ugh. Okay, Primal Empathy, sure. So if they have the biggest creature on board, they draw an extra card every turn. If not, they put a +1/+1 counter. So if I play Greater Sandworm, they're going to put a +1/+1 counter on a creature they control. They are going to draw a lot of cards here, but I don't think I'm at the point where I'm going to be able to deck them by any means. Alright, well, I'll just do the one thing I can do here. Play a 7/7 and pass the turn. I have Song of Creation at the ready. If I draw a land, I can go Song into Ceratops, but then I basically have to discard all my cards. I also gotta kind of hope they don't have an answer to the Sandworm. with their 4/5 cards in hand. Yep. Not a land. Sure, bunch of 4-power dudes. Let's see what we draw here. This lets me play an additional land each turn as well. Alright, we got something. Looks like maybe we're mutating. I think I misplayed with that ram through. I should have waited, just done it at instant speed. Maybe set up a block or something. What you got? It feels like they have a mutate card and they're figuring out whether to do it or not. Like Migratory Greathorn or something. Can't be the flying one, that's 4 mana. Alright, that was a tap land. So I think I have to go Pyroceratops land and then just Song of Creation next turn. Because if I play Song of Creation, I can't play Pyroceratops. Put a +1/+1 counter on a dude. Might as well put it on the Trampler, right? Or, I mean, you could spread out damage here. Yep. Just getting buried in card advantage. Wow, surprise white mana. Uh-oh. Activate Parcel Beast, I assume. I also kind of need to draw a spell next turn to make it worth it, because otherwise I'm casting this, not doing anything. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to block anything. I mean, I can't play around the +3/+3 and trample thing. I'm just going to block the 5/5. If they got a trick, they got it. Oh, we're activating now? That's strange. Wasn't a land. Alright, you got it, opponent. So that card, also unreasonable. And they had the white mana for that. You just get to reanimate 10 powers worth of creatures. Alright, well, we got summarily destroyed that game. Just completely destroyed. But I think the ram through really, I misplayed with that. I should have held it, let my opponent go for their ram through, and then maybe I had to ram through their werebear or their whatever in response. But even then, I'm still up the creature on my board. Maybe stabilize a little bit more. But that gives us our first loss. We're 2-1, and we'll go ahead and make up for that here in match number 4. See you there. All right, welcome back. Match number 4, we're 2-1. I'm going to keep this perfectly reasonable hand. 3-drop, 4-drop, 5-drop. Nothing spectacular about it. No removal spells. Nothing really going on here. I wouldn't mind drawing the 2-drop that ramps us. We're against another bronze player, Poor C. Or is it Poo RC? They got this gnarly looking shark as their sleeve. Alright, green mana, let's go. Let's do this thing, pork. Springjaw Trap, but it has flash. 4 mana, tap it, deal 3 damage to any target. So that's probably going to kill something later on, but right now, drawing a 2/2 for 2 isn't bad. Maybe that can peck in a little bit of damage. Probably play Fertilid on turn 3 if we're not like really needing to bash or anything, just so that I have the option to get my 4th mana in case I brick. Of course, if I just draw a 4th land here, I'll probably play Excavation Mole. Opponent cycled an Imposing Vantasaur. Alright, we did not. So, bash for 2. The Excavation Mole hits harder, though. but the Fertilid guarantees that we can get mana if we need to. I guess I've got plays here. Alright, 3 non-lands to the graveyard. I guess that's fine. Never really like cards like this. There are cards in this set that care about flash. The only thing I think that would make me want to play this card is if I have the rare that draws me a card whenever I cast a spell with flash. In which case, this is fine, right? This is going to trade for something at some point, so it's not like it's terrible, although my opponent's really far behind. This one is one of the rare mutate creatures that actually costs more to mutate it, so I could play it as a 2-3 reach, but this is definitely Fertilid attack turn. Opponent bricked on a land there. Makes cycling the Vantasaur a little bit better. I recommend if you're not looking for something and if you got plenty of land, don't cycle your cards unless you really need to for some reason, because the more you cycle, like the more spells you're getting rid of. And the more spells you get rid of means you're going to get flooded more often, because a lot of times you cycle away a spell, you're going to draw a land. Alright, cycled away a Flourish and Fox, but hit the 3rd land. Respectable. This is a tapper. I'm just going to jam into it. If we draw the 4th land, I'll play Bristling Boar. If not, I'll probably activate Fertilid. We drew the 4th land. Could go for the Glowstone Recluse here as well, but I would rather just play the Bristling Boar. See if they want to tap my Excavation Mole. And, like, yeah, next turn if they draw a land, they can kill Excavation Mole, or I'd rather kill Bristling Boar, but that uses their whole 4th turn as well, and I get to keep attacking. Opponent says no thank you. Yeah, I'll attack with Fertilid. If they're going to use a trick here, they're not going to kill Fertilid. And if they do, I can activate it in response. Get a little bit of value off of it. Sure. They've got, like, the thing that puts a +1/+1 counter. I guess I can ram through if I really want to. Do I want to ram through this checkpoint officer to keep my Fertilid alive? I can play land, activate Fertilid on their turn. Yeah. Alright, we will hit that, deal 1 to you with Trample. Deal a couple bit more damages. A couple bit more. We can make this a 5/5 next turn. I am going to activate Fertilid here to hit my 5th mana. Probably just play this Flycatcher. Whenever they cycle, tap a creature. Sure. Alright, this can't even attack anymore. Let's go get another red mana, shall we? Ooh, hello. That's actually really good. I can just put that on Fertilid. It'll be 4 power. Yeah, that's better than this Giraffid thing. Yeah, this will be a 4/5 that draws me a card. Because it retains the counter from the thing. Drew a land. And they have to block Excavation Mole, right? So they go down to 1. You can't block there. Okay. Well, I'll take it. Again, another bronze player, which I don't mean to say that like derogatorily, like, oh, friggin' bronze players. But I do suspect more bronze players are going to be newer players. And they also got mana screwed, so let's be real. That's not really a clear indication. But we did get to the 2/3 waypoint, right? This is kind of the point where you sweat your brow a little bit, you try to win a couple more, but at least if you get 2/3 of your prize entry back, you're fine. That does put us at 3-1. We are trying to ideally get to 5 wins, so let's go ahead and keep winning. This will be match number 5 coming up next. See you there. All right, welcome back. We are against Christina in Diamond, so we're actually punching above our weight class now. Straight from Bronze to Diamond, there's some weird pairing going on. We've got a fine hand. We might have to use Lutri just as a 3/2 blocker. Blister Spit Gremlin. All right. I can dig it, so you can pay 1 mana to have this deal a damage to each opponent. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you untap it. Well, if I draw a cheap removal spell and some lands, then I'll hold on to Lutri. Uh-oh, Ominous Seas could be kind of gross. So every 8 cards they draw is going to produce a 6/6 Kraken. Which means we're going to have to keep up for sure, and we don't have a very fast start. Do I want to cycle Greater Sandworm? I don't think so. So remember, every time they cycle, they draw a card. Ugh, that's going to be gross. Blister Spit getting him there. Guess I'll play my Glowstone Recluse here. Ooh, Charge of the Forever Beast is not bad. Unfortunately, this is a 7/7, so it can't even kill an 8/8. I'm going to play Glowstone Recluse. If they want to interact with it, fine. But also, that means if the coast is clear next turn, I can go Dreamtail Heron on it. It looks like they're going to just kill it, though. Sure. Oh, and that draws a card for their Ominous Seas. Oh, we're just going to get wrecked by this 8/8 Kraken. Maybe not. Maybe I can set up a turn where I go charge Lutri or something like that. It requires a lot of things to go right here. Plus, this card doesn't sacrifice itself. They can just keep doing it every time they draw 8 cards. We've got a reasonable hand. All right, they're going for the 8/8. Cycling away spells, though, that they could cast. Granted, that 2/2 is not going to be insanely powerful or anything. Could have a counter spell here. Spell Eater Wolverine. Now, I'm going to play 4/3 does not match up well against Spell Eater Wolverine. Still just going to play Bristling Boar and pass. This thing's up to 5 already. If they can get 2 spells in the graveyard, this will have double strikes, so blocking it's not great. Okay. Well, that's the second one of these Apexes that's just going to hose us today. So not only do they have a 3/3 now, but they get to flashback a card from their graveyard. I don't think we're going to be able to keep up with this. We'll keep playing it. I do need to draw land here to have a chance this game, though. So we're going to take 6 down to 11. I need to draw a land for this Dreamtail Heron right now. Right now. Okay, Fire Prophecy is a fine draw. Could still give me a chance at drawing a land. Kills this as well. I don't have the luxury of waiting around. So we'll kill Vadrik. We will put Sandworm on the bottom. This is tough. I need Sandworm for this, though. Maybe the Heron on the bottom. What am I hoping to draw? A land for Fertilid? I need at least a 4-power creature, though, for the Ominous Seas to work. Or for the Lutri plus Charge to work. Maybe I ditch Fertilid here. That seems kind of crazy, though. This is rough. I'm going to get rid of Sandworm. Alright, so play Fertilid. This thing's at 7, so they can make an 8/8 right now. And I need to draw a 4-power creature in order to be able to kill it. But I also need to draw a land, so I don't think we're going to get there, guys. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm not going to block. Oh no, are they going to kill my Fertilid? Youch. Alright. Well, they have Kraken active next turn. So we need to draw a 4-power creature. Or else this game is over. And we don't have that many left. Bristling Boar's in the graveyard. The Sandworm's on the bottom. This deck seems sweet. Another Ominous Seas. Well, now we're super dead. I can't even block this. Or they cycle a spell away. No, I mean, yeah, I'm gonna block. Like, do what you're gonna do. I don't have too much of a choice here. Yep, this thing has double strike now. Wow, this deck is just incredible. How'd they cast the Vadrik? Oh, right, Mutate is whatchamacallit. Alright. Well, the problem here is that they get to make this at instant speed, so I can't do the trick. I can block it for a turn. Nope, because then I have to play this. Alright, you got me. You got me. I think it was the removal made it so I couldn't keep up on board there. Youch. That was a beating. Vedrick was also great, too. I mean, it was basically a removal spell that got a little bit of damage in. We got the 2-for-1, but our opponent was able to keep up pressure. We do not have efficient ways to deal with 8/8s in our deck, but that's going to go ahead and do it for that match. That puts us at 3-2, so next one we're out. And we'll go ahead and run it back for match number 6. See you there. All right, we're back against Ovens. Hey, actual Platinum versus Platinum for the first time in 6 matches. Black. Swamp with a Cycler in your hand. All right, let's go ahead and lead off. We got a nice little 2/3/4 plus removal spell if necessary. So this hand looks decent. If I have this on turn 2, I'm just going to play it. Again, my opponent's cycling there, like cycling on turn 1 leads me to believe that they're looking for something specific. Don't care about the durable coil bug. Probably not even blocking it. Although anything can let them mutate early on, so maybe it's worth just trading whenever you can. Black-white is like the humans archetype. I'm not going to block here because I'm going to play a 3/3 next turn. And that can block Coil Bug just fine. Sure. 3/2, when it attacks other humans get +1/+1. Go and play my 3/3. This would have been a lot better for me to be on the play than the draw. Youch. I mean, the Heron would have been nice. I'm going to keep that back. I will block the Perimeter Sergeant if it attacks. This is the 4th turn is when your opponent can really start mutating some nasty creatures. Like they could have Cavern Whisperer here. 4/4 Menace makes your opponent discard a card when it mutates. Sure. And take whichever removal spell you want. Probably take Flame Spill. Could take Pyroceratops as well, but that leaves me with 2 removal spells. I don't mind them using this turn to Memory Leak, because they're probably going to take a removal spell, in which case I can just play Pyroceratops. And looks like they have another Cycler. That's not a bad draw either, although it's probably just going to be a 3/4. Can't mutate it onto the 2/2. Yeah, we'll just run Pyroceratops, and I could attack with this thing, but I like having that back to block this Perimeter Captain. Or Sergeant. Opponent with 3 cards in hand. Ovens with 3 cards. Remember, this match does matter a lot, because if I lose, I'm out. I don't have a fantastic hand, but I do have a reasonable one. My opponent knows I have a removal spell as well. Pyroceratops also gets better every time I cast a spell, which is nice. Sure. I'm not going to block Coil Bug. I am going to block the 2/2 on their 3/2. That means that, this to me means they're probably going to play something that can block my creatures, would be my guess. Or they just have a removal spell. Alright, Greater Sandworm's fine. I'm going to go ahead and jam. There's a couple black flash creatures. You know what they could have had? They could have had the 4/2 that finishes off a creature that was dealt damage. But it looks like they just have a removal spell or something. Divine Arrow. Can't stop it, so yeah, that happens. And I'll just play a 3/4. I would rather have the second body than to upgrade this by a point of toughness to get this Sandworm out. I feel like my hand is decent here. It doesn't feel like my opponent has too much going on. Yeah, Sleeper Dart. This stops a creature from untapping, but it basically just cantrips. Like, they can stop my Excavation Mole from untapping for a turn, which doesn't really do that much. basically it cycles without actually having the word cycling on it. And let's see if Coilbug wants to attack here. They can't have that black card up. They could have another Divine Arrow or something like that. Alright, another land is not that bad with this Sandworm in my hand. I'm gonna jam. They still know about the Flame Spill too. And the Sleeper Dart was only for a turn. So 2 cards from opponent. I'm in a position where lands are decent, spells are good, obviously. I would not mind drawing that Song of Creation card. This seems like the type of spot where I want it. Oh, I'm definitely going to Flame Spill that. And if their last card protects it, then at least they're empty-handed. This card's good. I found this card to be really good. Alright, Coilbug getting in there. I'm going to go ahead and do this now. No trample damage off of it, but I do get to bash back for 6. Oh, Loris is awesome. That's gross. I was going to say I wouldn't mind drawing a removal spell for it, but I guess I just keep the pressure on. I'm going to attack with both. So they can cast Sleeper Dart from their graveyard every turn. They can cast 1 card that costs 2 or less from their graveyard each turn. Yep, so here comes Sleeper Dart. It's going to make my Great Horn probably not untap. So they have a little engine going with Loris. Again, I'm in a position where most of my draws are good. Oh, yeah. That's right. They probably want to keep the Trampler down because of this Wild Bonder. I can make it so that my trample creatures just trample over regardless. If they attack with Loris, I'm snap blocking with my 4/3. Bristling Boar, sure. Alright, so I attack with the Wild Bonder. They can double block here and here, or I could just poke 4 damage in. Could also cycle Great Worm, but I think I have so many good draws that it's not really worth doing that. The 3/4 is a little bit blanked by this thing now. Just going to play out my Bristling Boar and pass. They've got a little bit of an engine going with this Sleeper Dart, and they can keep the same creature tapped down over and over again, but it does cost a mana to cast the Sleeper Dart. Drawing a removal spell with Loris would be really nice. Yep. I mean, drawing more creatures isn't necessarily the worst. Sanctuary Lockdown. Humans get +1/+1. Tap 2 humans. Tap target creature and opponent controls. Okay. I mean, the +1/+1 matters a lot because now the Bristling Boar can't just attack into whatever because they have a 3/5. Opponent's out advantaging me pretty hard here. They can't actually even use this. Alright, draw something. Tap land, of course. Alright, well that lets me fall pretty far behind here, I think. The fact that I drew a card that doesn't do anything while my opponent's drawing 2 cards per turn. It's not helping me out. Surprised they're still going for the Sleeper Dart over the human that they have on board. I mean, I guess Sleeper Dart draws cards. I have so much removal in my deck. I just want to kill Loris so they can stop doing this. Bastion of Remembrance, nice. Alright, now they do have 2 humans on board. I'm just getting outvalued. This single-handedly is winning my opponent the game. I do get to play a Sandworm, but now they're set up to be able to block it. Or tap it down or whatever. And they're gaining life. Alright. That's awkward because I do have to use it before casting this. I'm going to, though. So let's target Loris. Is it even Loris? Or do I kill this so I can attack? Oh, they can just tap it. Whatever, yeah. We're going to shut off their card advantage here. dealing 7 to Luris. They're going to drain a life off the Bastion. And I'm just going to pass the turn. Because that's all I can really do. Although, I don't know, maybe they tap. No, they're going to tap end of turn. Tap my 3/4. Alright, so card advantage shut off. Sandworm next turn, although that's not great because they can tap it. Opponent is all set up. I gave them all the time in the world there. But my Excavation Mole is going to start untapping now because they're not sleeper darting it. I still have plenty of good top decks. I would love to draw the Song of Creation now. My opponent's back up to 3 cards. We were stomping this game, and then Luris single-handedly did it. Luris plus Sleeper Dart was pretty good there. And their human stuff's coming together pretty nicely as well. Are we going to see an attack with this 3/5? They know about the Sandworm in my hand, which is admittedly pretty good. Alright, opponent just passes the turn without really doing anything. I will cast the Sandworm. They might just like Blood Curdle it or something. Play my land? Nah, they could have another memory leak or something like that. Still not in a position to attack with anything, though. Alright, they go end of turn, tap Sandworm, I assume. I feel like this game's really slipping from me. I have no action in my hand. My opponent's got, they're going to untap with a 4th card in their hand. They didn't even bother tapping. I do have this Wild Bonder, though, which is pretty good, right? If I draw the thing that gives Sandworm trample, +3/+3 and trample, I might be able to push in the win here. And they kind of have to kill the Sandworm, because just locking it down isn't that great, because it taps down 2 of their blockers. I get to just attack with other stuff, so it's going to come down to what they have in hand right now and what I end up drawing, because my draws have not been great. They just pass. Alright, I don't want to do this into just straight up open mana, although it looks pretty nice on the Great Horn. I'm going to go to combat and see what they do here. If they want to go ahead and tap down my Sandworm. If not, I'll attack with Sandworm and see what happens. Working Deadeye. Just flash in pre-combat. Tap down Sandworm. Okay. Still no real attack. I could attack with everything. This eats this eats this. This dies. They take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They lose this, but they gain 1 back. Still don't think I attack here. So do I want to Glowstone Recluse onto something? Onto a Trampler or onto this and get a land? Makes this a pretty good attacker. Thin out my deck a little bit. I'll put underneath. So I'll have a 5/6 with reach, 2 counters, go get a land here. Doesn't really matter what land I get. Get a forest. And that gives another threat that can attack into their board. Again, my opponent, though, with 4 cards, just holding my stuff off very easily. Kahira on board now, too. Doesn't actually pump anything. Heat Bonder, just gain an infinite life. I am drawing infinite cards. I'm going to attack with my 5/6 if they give me the opportunity. I need something to get out of this rut here. I've seen 10 of my lands so far. I still have pretty good draws, though. I still have, what, both Ram-Throughs? Yeah, I've got both Ram-Throughs in my deck. I'm going to attack. Just, if they've got more tricks, they've got more tricks. It's not much I can do about it. Sure. Chump block the coil bug. Yep. I'm going to play land for the song if I draw it. I think that's what I need to draw here. Although I only have 16 cards and I've still got to get through all this plus 17 life. I think the song would end up just decking me before I get there. My opponent's got a pretty good thing going on here. And they've gained so much life off of this. Oh, they're gaining 2 per turn now because this is Vigilance. Maybe this is one of those games that comes down to decking, but the longer this game goes on, the better this lockdown gets. Okay, sure. I need to kill this. That is priority number 1. Not only is it a human, but it's the thing actively gaining them extra life. Lutri. Alright, we're 100% holding Lutri here. Go to combat, make you do the thing. There's no point attacking with this coil bug. It does make them use their whole turn to be able to do that. Yep. I need to draw something here quick. Something to use with Lutri. A ram through would be really nice. Basically kill 2 creatures. Fire Prophecy would be okay. Yep, that's another human. Sure, that gives their guys +1 again, but doesn't actually double up on the effect in any meaningful way. Come on, ram through off the top. Bolton might be thinking about whether they can start attacking now. Ram through. Jesus. Alright, I'll pass. I can't believe how good just Luris just completely changed this game. They're going to start attacking now. I mean, the game's not over, but it feels like it's over, you know? They're going to tap down blockers. They might even be able to come close to killing me. I flooded a little bit too much here in this late game to really keep up, I think. Like, they can attack with this 6/4. I have to double block. They have Bastion of Remembrance. This is disappointing. Disappointing, because I drew all these lands. Sweet showing from the human stuff, though. What you got, opponent? Alright. I think we're going to see an attack here. Oh. I mean, I'll block that. My creatures aren't doing anything. The token can come in, sure. That's it. Alright. Again, my creatures don't do too much. I'm going to block with a non-trampler. Although Excavation Mole... And none of my creatures do anything, so... Alright. If I draw a land, I'll go ahead and scoop, because we can see the writing on the wall. If I draw something relevant, that is insane. That's a 5/5 that makes it 3/3. Draw a spell. Draw a spell. Fertilid. Alright. I think that's GG for me. We just got buried in card advantage there and then drew like too many lands to really keep up. Which was a shame because we were super far ahead. If we had drawn maybe 1 or 2 more spells to get us ahead, we would have been nice. But that puts us at a 3-3, which is not... I'm not happy about that. I think this deck could have done a little better. We never got to do the Song of Creation. Didn't really get to see whether it would have played out. But there were multiple games where had I drawn it, I feel like it would have been really nice. I don't know. The deck just didn't have a good way of coming back from behind. And my opponent just... Like, we lost to 2 decks. The deck with the Parcel Beast, we lost to that deck just now. That just drew so many cards we couldn't keep up. And yeah, I feel like I was really close there, and then I just drew not enough spells to keep up. Maybe one or two more spells. You see I had Lutri in my hand too, right? Casting it doesn't really do anything, so drawing a removal spell would have been nice, but we didn't get there. And that puts us at a paltry 3-3 for the first draft that I'm sharing with you guys. Of course, I keep the 7 and 2s to myself. You guys get the 3 3s. And we'll go and move on from there. We'll be doing a lot more of these. Again, they're very expensive, right? 10,000 coins, so we can't do them too often. And, 1,500 gems is a lot when you don't pay out until you get to 5 wins, which is kind of BS, but we're not here to discuss that. I guess we can open some packs real quick and then call it a video. Oh, yes, Ravnica Allegiance. Remember that set from, almost 2 years ago? And some Ikoria stuff. Start building up the collection. I wish I had gotten to play the Song of Creation once. Oh, Kogla. That's a nice one. In fact, that card is a little bit too good. Mythos of Eluna. That's the one that makes a token copy of a permanent. And a Triome. Don't mind the Triomes for constructed purposes. But there we go. Thanks for watching. That is our first Ikoria draft for the channel. You can let me know in the comments below how you felt about it. If I misplayed somewhere, if I misdrafted, I'm sure people would love to tell me about that. And that being said, stay tuned to the channel for more Ikoria draft. Find us on Twitter at MTG_Manarox. Feel free to subscribe below, like, comment, all that good stuff. My name's Timothy here with Manarox. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time.